Okie dokie. It's DracoMoriarty, who I understand has been playing the game for quite a long time, though I mostly, from my experience, remember them for staunchly playing Wanderer Reaver.
And T2K5 is the owner of the Duelyst official server, also known for making a lot of mods, which are awesome quality of life things.
Yeah, T2's pretty great. It looks like they're running this sort of Mechazor Songhai for the inner focus combo for sort of build your own Mercantor.
I mean, shoutouts to C When I started playing in beta, CC had a Songhai guide out, and he said, "Hey, Sword of Mechazor is really good in Songhai," and that was the standard. Everyone played that deck because of CC's really influential guide. So this was already an interesting decision that T2K5 could have Phoenix fired the turn 1 Tuskport, but then they're not really developing board, and that's pretty rough. Here instead, they wind up with this pretty crazy hand. I mean, when you have 4 Phoenix Fires in your hand, sometimes that allows you to approach the game in a way that, otherwise, you can't normally go about a game that way. I wonder if T2K5 is going to try and take advantage of the really unusual hand, or if they're just going to try and play in a more normal way. It looks like they're going to play in a more normal way.
Yeah, I think that was a good thing to replace into. It lets you develop a minion while you clear up this board.
Yeah, that's nice, because if they had to leave a minion on board, or if they had to not develop anything, that would have been really bad. DracoMoriarty would have been at a pretty big advantage. But as is, this is quite nice. And T2K5 is probably looking for an inner focus at this point to try and pair with the Sword of Mechazor, because Sword of Mechazor otherwise is a pretty mediocre card, especially against Songhai, where you gotta expect that it's just gonna get Phoenix fired. Tiger is very unusual in DracoMoriarty's hand.
Oh, actually looking at T2's hand.
Oh, my bad, yes. Tiger is very unusual in T2K's hand.
I mean, they're both playing Songhai, so it would be a true statement either way. But
he was really hoping for that inner focus there.
Yeah, it would have been a good one.
Yeah.
I think instead you're probably just going to... Actually, you don't need to kill the fox in one hit, since Draco's at 5 cards anyway.
Mm-hmm. I think that there's... In one draw, Fox was a huge threat because the card advantage they gave you was devastating. But in 2 draw, it's not as big of a deal depending on the situation. Phoenix Fire is kind of... I mean, it's not a bad card, but it's mediocre. If my opponent's spending 2 mana to cast a Phoenix Fire, that's fine. So it's not so important to make sure the Fox doesn't get a ton of value.
Still going to get clean up here, but means that T2 is going to get to use all the mana from their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess they could just Phoenix 5 face, so it's not actually a difference really. Oh, and here's the inner focus. There we go.
Yeah, right
See
after.
if Draco plays into it. It could still be good depending on what Draco does. It's somewhat unexpected, I'd say. I haven't seen too many people running it, and yeah, they did just play right into it.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time you can't really know for sure that your opponent is running sort of extra inner focus, and I mean, here this positioning is really good. Otherwise, playing around it would be quite the concession. So that's part of the power of the card. So at this point, with this inner focus, I think T2K5 is already pretty far ahead, which is,
Yeah, they just swung the game massively in their favor that turn.
Yeah, but it's also being ahead on life here is quite relevant, because just getting that incidental face damage. These decks probably don't run any healing. They might have a 4 wins or something, but you're not going to see Emerald Rejuvenator probably. And when you're at 11, you can die very easily. to just a ton of things. Especially when you give your opponent 2 Phoenix Fires.
Yeah. I need to have something pretty special here to not just be dead.
If they have to punch it and go to 9, that's really rough. Because of course Songhai does damage in chunks of 3, so yeah, it's very easy for T2K5 to have the extra damage there. There they had lethal with Blood Rage Mask and then Phoenix Fire face twice and played Saber Spine Seal on anything.